Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome back, my savory seeds of sunshine. I wanted to talk a little bit about why I started YouTube in the first place. I'm going to get right to the chase. I want to give you some of the history, where I come from, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and how long I plan to continue doing this. Clearly, I talk about cars. This channel is full of car buying opportunities. I talk about the prices, the markets, hot news, and cars that you probably don't want to buy, or cars, great deals that you can look at, incentives, all of those great things. Those are all important to us these days. And I actually recently started this channel as an evolution from a vlog I was walking through. And I did a vlog for a couple of years, and I love talking about some of my personal experiences. And I kept that vlog going for quite some time. And then I just evolved into a space where those other items are always going to be important in my personal life, and I like to share some of those elements. But I felt I was missing something. I needed to express myself in a way that was going to help people, going to help you, going to help my parents, my kids, my friends, relatives, neighbors, and even myself. Because as I read and research and talk to people in the industry, I start learning more and more and more. So it was pretty clear to me that there was a space in my life that I needed to express to you guys, so you have better opportunities to get great deals. Because I come from a place where, you can read a million things and everybody has their own take on it. Everybody has their own spin on what the narrative is. And the same thing goes on my other channel, Exotic Car Play Place, which many of you are probably aware of. I've been doing that one for about 7 or 8 years now. And I started from a place where, don't ask me the name, Exotic Car Play Place. I understand, I've had lots of feedback on that. It started from a place of, talking about some of the high performance and exotic cars I had access to. But then I also felt like, as much as I have a passion for those kinds of cars, I realized that it was more important to you, and equally more important to me, to understand the goods, the bads of these vehicles. Buying cars aren't always equal. You buy a Toyota, you buy a Hyundai. They look the same, or they kind of look the same. But a lot of people don't really understand some of the big differences. And a lot of the differences are problems, technicalities, drivetrains, reliability, cost of servicing, depreciation. All of these factors are very, very important factors. And when you flip through the magazines and you're looking through things like, I shouldn't even name call them, but you look through some of the famous publications, magazines, and even some of the people on YouTube are clearly on the payroll. The payroll is okay. We all have to make a living, but they're coming from a place where they can be somewhat honest, but there's this underlying sort of lock and key that keeps them from going right all, full scale, full balls in there and down that rabbit hole. And that's where I'm coming from. Because there's many limitations, because many people are on payrolls, I don't give a shit. I'm not on that payroll. And the same thing goes for both of these channels, Exotic Car Play Place and this one, Easy Car Buying, which is what you've signed up for here. Easy Car Buying, both of these channels have two different mandates. Easy Car Buying, which you're watching right now, is coming from a place of giving you financial advice, thoughts, if you're wanting the best cars, and again, costs, the markets, and analyzing some of the big players in the industry, where they're going from a business perspective. And then on the other side, Exotic Car Play Place is more on the technicalities, because for those of you who are maybe not sure as to what the differentiation is, we've got the technical side of the business. Engines, transmissions, reliability, as I've already said. A lot of those things are important to people, but for different reasons. Some people don't care about reliability because they only sell their car, or they only keep their car for 2 or 3 years and within warranty. But on the other hand, those people care more about getting a good deal, interest rates, and maximizing their buying power. So there's clearly two different trains. And that's where I'm coming from. They're all very important to me, but I don't necessarily want to put it into one channel, because I do feel like you lose focus. And I don't want to lose focus. And I want to deliver the goodies that you guys all signed up for. When you come to Easy Car Buying, I don't care about people, trying to sign me up on payrolls. I'm not looking for that. I want to be brutally honest. I don't want to be like all those others that are constantly under watchful eye and under the thumb of some of the big vendors, the big OEMs that are telling you, no, you can't say that. Well, I've got to review that video. I don't like what you said there. I'm going to say it as it is. I'm going to say it from my opinion, my thoughts, my experiences, and that's from the financial side. Again, the technical side, bad engines, transmissions, reliability, you're going to find out on Exotic Car Play Place. Now, since then, I've also started a third channel. And the reason I've got 3 channels on the go, and some of you who know me on a personal level, you'll know this, and I'll get to this in a second. And others who don't, I'll share this with you. But I've started a third channel, not because I have all this time, because I don't. We've actually brought on extra staff to support all of this infrastructure, the channels. I've got 3 channels. I've even got a 4th that I've sort of been kind of working and tinkering and trying to strategize how to build that one, but I'll share that another day. But this third channel is basically 6-speed reviews. Yes, 6-speed reviews. And it's a channel geared, pardon the pun, it's a channel geared primarily for people looking to get the driving, the full drive, the car review experience. That channel is literally, I'm not talking about reliability, I'm not talking about necessarily the costs and all of those. I'm talking about the technical aspect of that car's driving experience. I'm sharing the ins, the outs. I'm sharing, some of the key highlights, quirks, strange technical attributes. I'm also sharing how it drives and all the fun factor in there. But I'm also sharing the quality experience. And that's what a lot of channels don't necessarily thrive on. Lots will puke out a lot of different statistics, 0 to 60 that, quarter mile this, so many fuel economy. All these factors will get thrown out there. And while I do include a lot of that critical information that you're all coming for, my main focus is, let's drive this car. I'll give you my honest assessment. Let's look at it in depth, not from a distance, but I'm going to look at some of those weird quirks up close. With how close you don't even normally see. Most people don't even share some of these nuances, these buttons, these triggers, these vents, these things, these lights up close. You want to see some of these details. I'm going to share the details. I'm going to share how that vehicle drives, the quality experience, but also we're going to give it to you real and raw. Again, nobody has me under their thumb, and all of my channels, I have to express this, are total freelance. That's me. And nobody's pushing me into a corner telling me I can't say this or I shouldn't say that. This is why I bring a value that you can't find in a lot of places on the internet. You can't find it on magazines because everybody has somebody leaning on them. We know about, publications like Consumers Reports or Consumers Reports and some of those others and JD Powers. And we know there's no confusion in understanding the fact that a lot of these vendors have certain influences or influencers that are often funding some of their abilities and the fact that they keep rolling. But I don't necessarily want to go down that path. I'm freelance and I'm doing okay. So I want to continue sharing the things that you want to hear, the real truth, not some made up fluffy noise and then a little bit of, influence and money that goes with that in a special envelope. That's not what I'm trying to do here, folks. I want to give you a real car reviews, which is 6-speed reviews, and definitely you want to check that out because I'm building that channel. It's not very large right now, but there's a lot of great cars already that I've featured, and I plan to continue on. As a matter of fact, I've got another great review coming up right away. I'll be uploading here shortly. So if you haven't been on there for a while, be sure to do that, and don't forget to subscribe to all 3 channels. Remember, whether you're looking at it from a financial perspective, or you want to check out a car review, or even want to understand how reliable this car is, or what's wrong with buying a luxury car over a regular car. What are those details and the technicalities? You're going to get it straight from me, and you're going to get it raw. And it's going to be practical, but it's also going to be reliable. I'm not going to be influenced. So I can't help but express it enough. I thank each and every one of you for coming down here and sitting with me today on Sunday when you could be out there in the sun or the rain or whatever it is you normally like to do. You're spending it with me today. And I really do appreciate it, or at least for these few minutes, because I also want to express kind of where I come from. And I want to give you a little bit of where I'm headed. So let's start with, I basically have a strong engineering background, electrical and automotive. Okay, that's a strange combination, I know. Yes, I have history in the automotive industry. I've rebuilt engines. I've done a lot of shop work. Yes, indeed, I do a lot of DIY work. Sometimes I share on the channels as well. So I have a lot of hands-on experience. European cars, domestics, you name it. I've had my fingers in everything. And I'm not saying I'm literally a specialist in any of that. I'm a jack of all trades. But you know what? I'm willing to share it, and I'm always willing to give it a go. So I have enough experience, and the mechanical aptitudes are all there to make sure that I'm sharing you some well sought out and researched information. So I have this background where, yes, I've got dirt under my fingernails. I'm not scared to work, and as such, I do a lot of DIYs. But I also have a background selling cars, absolutely. And as a matter of fact, one of my more recent car experiences, I worked for a Toyota dealership. And in that dealership, I started in a space of doing detailing. I took vehicles in off the truck. I stripped them down. You had to pre-wash, get the wax off, the shipping wax, take the plastic off. Had to do basically prep the vehicles for sale, undercoating as needed, and those other add-ons. I would do all that in the shop. That's where I started. So receiving the vehicles, stocking them, parking them, as well as just taking care of all the extras and the add-ons that people often get snookered in buying. I was the person doing that. So I started there, and I transitioned into middle level, and then of course selling cars. And now I've been enjoying this all this time. So I'm selling cars, working in cars, and I even understand the background, the workshop side, what it means when you're getting a car off the truck, watching for certain damages and certain things you're looking for. So I can share all of that information. But then as time went on, I sort of evolved into, I was double dipping. I did some other work. I did some other random jobs. We all have our experiences doing different things. One of my, highlight jobs, I worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken years ago when I was going to high school. I worked for Dickie D, that little pedaling the bicycle, selling ice cream in the corners. Yeah, I worked for Dickie D. I worked for KFC, selling chicken, making burgers and ice cream. I worked for them. That was quite a job. Boy, I had some good friends. John, great guy. Unfortunately, John's passed on since. But that was a job. Then I moved on to other things. Then I stocked shelves for Zellers. It's basically like a Walmart. It's almost like a old school Walmart. So I stocked shelves there. I did a little back-end loading, truck loading stuff there too. Then I moved into electrical work. And as I said, I've got sort of split down the middle. I have an electrical experience and automotive experience. And so I spent some time in the electrical industry, doing high voltage work, construction work as well. And I moved on and evolved into another place of doing commissioning and maintaining large equipment. And you know what, honestly, I worked for many different companies, some great ones and some absolute horrible ones. And I've had some of the worst bosses. And for those that may be watching this video that, can recognize me from previous job experiences, I've nothing but the hardest worker, most enthusiastic, and constantly trying to learn. I'm always trying to learn new things to get better, stronger, faster. And then I can transfer that to you guys because the way I see this, you sleep, you rest, and you stop learning when you die. Everything between that time should be a constant development and enhancement of your own personal abilities and skills and knowledge, and you can then share that with friends and family, and that's what I'm doing. So, I've had managers. I had a couple real doozies. I had one great manager, in the last quite some time back. Really good manager, old school, grassroots, hard ass, turns purple when he gets mad. Unfortunately, he's gone. He's moved on. And I mean, unfortunately, in a bad way. I've had a couple other managers. One, literally the biggest, not a great person. The kind of person that opens the door for you to have a conversation and then uses every one of those while your guard is down to use those pieces out of that conversation against you in a conversation during your performance time. So, I've learned a lot of lessons from people like that. They've thickened my skin. They've encouraged me to do bigger and better things, not directly, indirectly, because it's their very treatment and abuse and misuse of their skills or lack thereof, because in most cases these people only have the one skill, and that's learning how to climb the ladder. But instead of doing that, they use these little nuances to pick apart you and poke holes in your abilities. And so I quickly learned that I had some struggles through my years in different employments, and some people were like that. They weren't very great to work for, and other people were absolutely amazing. I had some phenomenal bosses. I even had, when I worked utility for a while there, I had a great ride-along buddy, absolutely the best dude ever. And, we did a lot of work. There was two of us in a truck, and quite frankly, I learned so many life lessons from that guy. It was just a literal pleasure. So, as I've gone through life, I've learned not to take everything at face value. Not everybody is wearing, their feelings on a sleeve and a cuff. And you learn both life lessons, technical lessons, skills, attributes, and that's why I'm bringing all of that. As you can see, I've got a few whites going on here. And the wife, she's like, well, I don't know if I like it with facial hair. But as time goes on, she's starting to look at this and say, yeah, you know what? I'm starting to get used to that. Maybe you don't need to shave it just yet. So on a positive note, with all of the trials and tribulations that I've experienced in recent years, with, poor bosses that have, nothing short of abused, to, trials and tribulations, losing close friends that have passed away, parents, unfortunately, that have passed away. And now I'm in a place where I just want to live the best life. I want to live my best life. I want to share everything I've got, and I want to bring it from the heart, because I can't tell you, each and every one of you has a skill. And sometimes you may not know that. You may not even be totally aware that you have a certain skill or a passion for something. And I didn't know that. Well, I knew that. I always knew I loved cars. But I didn't know how to transfer that passion to the screen, like we're talking right now. I mean, back in the day, it was the old days. You'd watch Top Gear, and I used to love watching, Jeremy Clarkson and some of those big players there. Obviously, Top Gear was my favorite. There's no doubt about it. We had, I don't know. I would just literally put them all on, save them all on the PVR, and then I watch them and binge watch, because I just used to love that show. But I used to see the automotive world as you either afford to buy what you're driving, or everything else you just watch on TV and read in magazines. But now, fortunately, I'm able to live the dream and the passion. Yes, I'm able to do all of that, and in a positive light. All of this negativity, I flip it. It's actually positive. It's brought me experiences, thoughts, and as motivation to make me do the best things that I possibly can, and realize through other friends of mine that have made jumps out of the corporate world and said, you know what, I took the leap of faith. I didn't care. I dove into the pit of crocodiles, so to speak, not aware of what it had in store for me, but they too also jumped into the world of YouTubing, content creation, collaboration with vendors, and talked me into the very idea of, hey, there's more to this world. YouTube has a world for you. You have a certain gift for the gab. Why don't you join on? So I did. And then I started to work through the nuances, started to fumble around, realizing that I wasn't very good in the beginning. And the first video was horrible. And the fifth video was terrible. And the 10th video was embarrassing. And it got to a point it just became awkward to watch myself on screen. But it was that very motivation by some of those managers that continued to drive me on. As a matter of fact, I even had somebody tell me, it's your YouTube or it's your job. Yes, I actually got that conversation. You're going to do that or you're going to do this. You're not doing both. But you know what? I looked at it like there's lots of room. There's lots of pieces of pie. And so I have one or two pieces of pie. There's lots left for everybody, right? So I looked at it like I was ready to just continue on doing what I was doing, because I was living the dream. I was living the passion, and everything about the automotive world called my name. And again, now I learned how to convert my passions, my ideas, my learnings, all of that to the screen. And now I'm able to share it with every one of you. And I laugh because a lot of times on some of my videos, particularly on Exotic Car Play Place, a lot of you guys see and say, whoa, it's like January in the snow. It's a blizzard out there and my eyebrows are all whited over and the wind's blowing 60 miles an hour sideways. And it's like, why are you filming in that blizzard? Is it always snowing in Canada? And actually, yeah, it snows here a lot. And for that reason, it makes it very challenging. But again, trials and tribulations. I've never been the person to take the easy way out. I've always been one, not necessarily looking for the hurdles, but there's a hurdle, I'm going to find a way to get over it, or up and over or around it. I figure it out because I don't let the little stuff get to me. I've had a lot of challenges in my life. I've had a lot of pushback, and there's been struggles. I've had some highlights. I've had some huge successes in the channels, and none of it was possible without all of you, the viewers. And that's why this has all become so much more, I can't even express. Because you guys continue the drive for me to continue my drive on. And even with people saying, you can't, I say, I can. And they say, you won't. I say, I will. And then with people saying, you better not, I'm saying, well, here I am. So it's been some fun times. I've had some challenges, some ups and downs. And quite frankly, right now, I'm in a place of freelance. I can say what I want. I can do what I want. But I do have a family. And I do appreciate that everybody has, well, their own passions. It'd be great, if the family were involved too. But they're not. They don't want to be in the front of the camera like me. That's cool. Everybody's got their thing. But I feel like this was a calling for me. And this constant positive reinforcement from all of you, the viewers, is enough to keep me going on and on and on. And so, the ultimate question is, how long do I plan to keep doing this for? Well, let's put it this way. Any guesses? You know what? If you've gotten this far, let's put it this way. If you've gotten this far in the video, I'm going to send out a call to action right now. Drop in the comments section below. How old do you think I am today? As of, what's the date here? The date is April 26th? Yeah, April 26th, 2024. How old am I? I'd like to hear that guess. Okay? Drop it in the comments section if you're still sticking around. With that said, I plan to keep going until I can't do it any longer. In other words, till I fall over. I mean, there's no point in stopping. I'm living the passion. I'm living the dream. I'm doing what I love. And you know what? That's all that matters. And the biggest thing is I'm helping all of you in some way, whether it's getting the best deal on a car, whether it's avoiding that piece of junk, whether it's even getting a review on your latest fun car. I'm sharing everything I can with you, and it's unplugged, unfiltered, unfettled, and certainly there's no BS and there's no thumbs pushing down on me now. There was a time when there was. There was times where I was living certain, in certain career times where, you feel like, you have to play nice and you have to say what the people want to hear and you have to say the nice things and you have to avoid this. I'm all positive. Everything I say is positive. Well, mostly positive. I'm positive that a Theta 2 engine is a piece of junk. I'm positive that we need to see low interest rates. So at the end of the day, like I said, I plan to do this for many, many more years, as long as I possibly can, as long as the platforms exist. And even if they cease to exist, I plan to continue on doing more of this because I have this passion to help others. And that's all I've ever had. Because, I grew up, I get buzzed as a kid, growing up, my first Porsche I bought many years ago, I had a 944, then a 944 Turbo. My first 911 was an SC. I bought, I was around 20 years of age. I bought my first 911. And once I bought that, I could not get down to the bookstore fast enough when we had hard copy or magazines. I'd constantly be going down there to look for that Excellence. Have you ever heard of the magazine Excellence? That's what the Porsche magazine was. And I had to get every model every month. And I was down there chasing down to make sure to get the next magazine, and I just couldn't get enough of it because I had that burning passion for those cars. I've loved Porsches, exotic cars. I love Corvettes and Camaros. I don't even care. It's enthusiastic for enthusiast cars. That's what I am. That's probably the best way to put it, because cars are my life. They've always been that way. I love fixing them. I like driving them. I like washing them. And I like to understand what makes them tick. And more importantly, I also understand how can I afford to buy that next car. So these are all of the places where I'm coming from, and I just wanted to share with all of you on this fine Sunday where I'm coming from, where I'm headed, what's going on in the channel, and kind of some a little bit of background information about me. You know, I also had jobs like cleaning carpets. That was a great job. Poor pay, dirty work, but the guy I worked with was top shelf. His name was Gary. Shout out Gary, top shelf guy. You know, down home, down to earth, and I really enjoyed working with Gary. So, you know, clean carpets. And I've always been of the belief, doesn't matter if you're shoveling shit, shoveling gravel, digging ditches, delivering newspapers, I don't care what it is, flipping burgers at McDonald's. If you enjoy the people you work with, then it's all a win. It doesn't matter anymore about, you know, the type of job or the kind of income and revenue it brings. Well, that all is kind of important, but more important is being around fun people, fun environments, fun work. And I know you can't always make a career off of pure fun, but if you can find your passion and transfer that into a way that you can monetize it in some way, or even a spin-off of derivative of your passion, hey, you're living the dream. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So on top of the fact that we're growing our channels, like I said, we've got 3 editors on board. I've got a camera person on top of myself. I've got a manager. And honestly, we've got a couple people doing research for me as well, for those moments that I just need to go a little deeper. I have a few people on payroll, you know, and with that, it's all about just building up the team. We're building the team, trying to bring better content, more content, and content that you're all looking for. So at the end of the day, everybody, I just hope you all have a wonderful Sunday. I love that you stopped by and you took those few minutes to hang around with me and listen up to my noise and nonsense and trials and tribulations. I really do appreciate it. And for all those people that were cool and kind and fun and wonderful in my working career, in my corporate gigs, in my, you know, day-to-day 9-to-5 jobs, for all those people that were positive and were great influences, you know what? You're all wonderful people. And for those that weren't, thanks anyway, because everything is a life lesson to me. You know, I even saw a comment there today I was reading actually on the one channel where a person openly admitted that they bought a car in 2022. They realize now how badly they got rooked, but they openly admitted, you know, unfortunately, I learned a lesson. I won't do that again. And now that's at least a life lesson you can take away. So even I look at it like this. Anything negative in your life or perceived as negative can be flushed out, and there's always a silver lining. And it sounds so cliche, but I believe it's true. Because with even these brutal managers that I had, absolutely brutal, I take away life lessons from them. And at the very least, I learned that not everybody is as they tell you. And on top of that, more importantly, they're motivators to do bigger and better things that don't include them. So that's why I truly believe that everything has a silver lining, and you've got to look at everything from a positive light. So I really hope that helps everybody. And like I said, today was a little bit of a different video, different spin. I want to share about the background, and I hope you do come back. Please do share, you know, I'd love if you could share this channel on your social media. That's all I ask. Maybe ask your friends and family, hey, give this guy some love. You know what? He's working hard. And if you can get, you know, anybody you know might be interested in listening to a guy blather on once in a while about cars, if you can get them to subscribe to the channel, that'd be really cool. A-okay by me, that's for sure. Anyway, with all of that said, be sure to check right there. I would just want to give you the pointer right there. If you're interested in learning more about car reviews, you're definitely going to want to check that out. I'm not going to share a video with you specifically today to guide you, but call to action. I'd love for for you to go over there and subscribe to 6-Speed Car Reviews. The channel's growing. I'm trying to enhance it, get more hands on my cars. And remember, it's coming from a place that nobody's watching me, telling me what I can say or can't say about that car. So hope to see each and every one of you on the next one. We'll see you all real soon. Bye-bye.